Hi, my name is Steve Olson, and I'm your host of the Olson Files. We heard again and again from different so-called experts like Mark Cuban that if Trump became president, that the market would crash, and that the whole U.S. economy would be in the tank. We would go into recession, and there'd be no jobs, and we'd be taken advantage of. But if you look over here at this Breitbart article, the title is The U.S. created 263,000 jobs in April. Unemployment fell to the lowest level since 1969. So, again, and the unemployment rate dropped to 3.6%, the Labor Department said Friday. That far exceeded the 180,000 estimated by there is by the experts the Inco Day, and follows a better than expected surge in April. Economists had expected the unemployment rate to hold steady at 3.8%. The unemployment is at the lowest level since 1969 when it hit 3.5%. So 1969. My classic Broncos 1968. And so that's 45, almost 50 years ago, about in that range. We heard that Trump again and again was racist and he didn't care about people of color and was a sexist. Didn't care about women, but lowest unemployment also for Blacks, Hispanics, and women. So all these things that all these experts say keep out turning to be false. Also say the good news on wages continued in April as well. Average hourly earnings rose by 6 cents to $27.77 over the year. Average hourly earnings have increased by 3.2%. Inflation is running at 1.5%. So real average hourly earnings has gone up by 1.7%. And it just keeps on getting better and better. So the numbers came a few days after the ADP and Moody's Analytics said the private sector added 275 jobs in April, far surpassing expectations for 108,000 jobs. Last year, the economy added an average of 233,000 a month, defying expectations that job creation would slow as unemployment hit records low. So we keep on hearing this thing, defying expectations. Again, proving the experts wrong, proving people like Mark Cuban that laughed at the idea of a Trump presidency, and that the economy would be doing well, and that we'd be taken advantage of by countries far smarter than us. But we see time and time again, just like the 2016 election, that just Trump keeps proving everybody wrong. We also have this little nice paragraph. Economic reports have painted a picture of far more favorable economic conditions than they did in the final months of 2018. First quarter GDP rose 3.2%. Now remember when Obama said, Trump can't come in here and wave a magic wand, but it looks like rolling back regulations and holding people accountable for taking advantage of us, like the Chinese, and raising tariffs, all that came together to turn around the economy. Moving on, far more than 2.1% forecasted by, again, the so-called experts. Wages and productivity rose strongly as well. Inflation has consistently fallen this year, and in March, price gains hit 1.5%, well below the Federal Reserve's 2% target. So, you said inflation has consistently fallen. So we keep going over this, that all these experts keep telling us that we would be a country in shambles and broken and no jobs. And all these factory jobs, well, they left and they were never coming back. But now all these jobs are coming back, and it's an amazing thing to see. We see even on Yahoo, not a big fan of Trump. Job creation smashes expectations. Unemployment rate falls to 49-year low. So the U.S. labor market charged ahead in April. The economy added 260,000 non-farm payrolls of this month. the Bureau of Labor Statistics that reported this Friday. This topped expectation of 190 new positions. And then we hear again the unemployment rate fell for 3.6%, the lowest since 1969. And again, Trump keeps proving the numbers wrong and wrong again. So if you're looking for a job, this is a perfect time to do it. And we go here, professional and business services added 76,000 jobs in April. Construction added 33,000, making its 12-month total 256,000. The healthcare sector grew by 27,000 jobs in April. Financial jobs rose by 12,000. Manufacturing changed little for the third month in a row, raising by 4,000. Mining, warehouse, leisure, hospitality, information, technology, government were also close to flat for the month. But look at it as a whole. Record numbers of people are employed. The unemployment is down, the lowest in 49 years. And we have, again, all these name calling about Trump, but the jobs for blacks and Mexicans and women, they're at the lowest unemployment rate too, and they're being able to work and make money and have a living. Having a job is any other social problem that you can, social program that you can have. Having a job is a confidence builder. Instead of taking from the government, you can actually save money and put money back in, and it's just a big confidence booster to actually have a job and be able to work full time. So I don't see how really Trump can be the weak candidate in 2020. I think a lot more people are going to vote him in, and it might be a landslide, but there's a reason why the market should control what wages do instead of making artificial wages like we see here. Higher minimum wage means restaurants raise prices and fewer employee hours survey finds. A survey from Hari found that restaurant operators respond to minimum wage hikes by cutting hours and raising prices. Fast food workers across the country have been driving the fight for a higher minimum wage. But again, they are artificially creating this higher wage, and it's not going off markets. We find that when over and over studies say that when you raise the minimum wage, it actually hurts people trying to get into the workforce, like young kids. It hurts the poor because their hours are cut or they have no jobs. And if you don't, based off the marketplace or someone's actual skills, or a minimum wage job is just to get your foot in the door, it's not a job to make a livelihood off and support your family. Most people try to go to trade school or college or the military to further their career and get further in life and be able to support a family. So trying to wage it to the level of $15 an hour, like 6 states, including my state, Oregon, $15 an hour is a starting wage at some companies of a beginning welder, an EMT, a dental assistant, a vet tech. Those are all skill positions, and the minimum wage isn't. Most of the times you're flipping burgers for $15 an hour is a position that shouldn't pay that much. Again, it's to be able to get your foot in the door. But we see a workplace management software company that works with the restaurants surveyed 173 restaurants between February 28th and March 15th about the impact of raising minimum wage. The respondents represent more than 4,000 restaurant locations, ranging from fine dining to fast food. Oh yeah, I missed this. So for restaurants, minimum wage hikes usually mean higher menu prices and fewer employee hours, according to a survey released Wednesday. That's really no surprise. And you see all these different, just creating artificial wages and like going down to the Hood River McDonald's. When I was going to go hunting in the Blue Mountains, they had kiosks there and very few people working there, and that's going to happen. Fast food companies cannot pay these prices. Like McDonald's is a great example because we went there and it's going to be all computerized with just a few people serving the orders. And if they can, they'll probably try to replace people, with robots later. Um, but some operators respond to minimum wage increases by cutting costs, with 64% saying they reduced employees' hours and 43% saying they eliminated jobs. 43%. 64 reduced employees' hours. So you see what happens when people try to create artificial wages. Studies keep on showing us over and over again that people lose their job, hours are cut in half, and people trying to gain their foot in the door makes it harder for them, and more people go on unemployment, and it's just not good. We should let the marketplace create it with this great economy that Trump is pushing forward. Not Obama's company, like he's trying to take credit for. He blamed his 8 years on Bush. A lot of his years were just a 1% or 1.5%, like just a there is like the GDP growth, but his magic wand comment was just one of the many examples of the so-called experts and laughing at the Trump presidency that he would never ever get in. And we have all these different reports of the U.S.-China trade deals falling through. I just want to, there's one I want to read, but I want to kind of touch this first. Lightseer, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Sorry, made his remarks after President Donald Trump tweeted he would raise tariffs 10% on 200 billion of Chinese goods to 25% on Friday. He also threatened to impose an extra 25 levy on another 325 billion of Chinese goods shortly. So you have all these people, freaking out about this, saying it's going to hurt us. But you see time and time and again, you see like in NATO, our allies who are supposed to be paying more are actually putting in more and more money. It's just a Trump effect. He's a businessman and he knows how this works. Because we go to this article, tariffs hit steel and aluminum over a year ago and they haven't boosted consumer prices. It says Donald Trump announced tariffs on steel and aluminum a little over a year ago. The tariffs on Chinese goods started kicking in a few months later. The biggest piece coming in late September 2018 when a 10% import duty was applied to $200 billion of Chinese goods. And that's a good thing because Trump has talked about this since the 80s, about all these people taking advantage of us in so-called free trade, when sometimes the Chinese will even make a cheaper product. There's still plans and intellectual property from Americans and they sell it back to us. They'll put higher taxes on us like in Europe and China, and they just keep taking advantage of us through all these different price increases. And we've been getting hurt for the last 30, 40 years since the 80s and the 70s and the 60s, and we were just supposed to take it, just not make anybody mad. But now we're fighting back, and now people getting worried. But this is another great example of how Trump is proving everybody wrong again. Despite many claims that tariffs would hurt U.S. consumers, they have not. For months, data has defied predictions of tariffs-led inflation. Now it's undisputably clear the metals and Chinese tariffs have not raised consumer prices. The Department of Labor said Friday that its consumer price index was up just 2% compared with a year ago, indicating that prices are not rising particularly quick. The Federal Reserve says it targets 2% inflation. Again, we read before that it was lower, although it used a different measure of prices. So, again, the experts again and again are being proven wrong by Trump. We've been being taken advantage by presidents, Republican and Democrat, and the establishment right hates Trump. That includes the Bushes, Mitt Romney, John McCain, Ben Sass, all these people. They don't like outsider coming in and showing them how to do a job. And he's doing their job way better than they could ever do. And that's why, just like the president, we should have term limits. So these people can't be lifelong politicians and come in only making a certain amount of money and then they walk out millionaires because of lobbyists and special interest groups. But again, Trump is proving all the experts wrong. And just like these tariffs, the trade deals fell apart, hoping they go back to the table. But I think that being taken advantage of, that China and Europe and other places like this, but especially China, who is um, the people that we really are in a race with to keep our superpower position, and China trying to take it from us. Russia, their problem, but we need to watch out for China the most because they've been taking advantage of us, millions and millions of dollars. You also have a problem with Iran targeting our troops, through Iraq, and Hamas attacking Israel, and we know who they were funded by, Iran. But that would be a bad coalition, Iran, China, um, Russia. But we really have to show people that we're not going to back down. And um, China could try to ride this out the next couple of years, thinking that Trump will get reelected, but I think he will. But we're going to see changes and making America great again. A nationalist idea that um, isn't shouldn't be scary to people. It should be America first, and we should be able to make sure that our country comes first and keep on not being taken advantage of. So hit the like button and subscribe button, and we'll get more of these videos out, and hopefully have some car videos up for you coming soon. Okay, have fun, guys.